Hello everyone, welcome again to live session of Manu Law classes. I'm Dinesh Kumar and I'm former assistant professor of law at Campus Law Center Law Faculty, Delhi University, and presently I'm working as an academic head of Manu Law classes. So dear students, in today's session I will discuss with you one of the most important topic, that is Uniform Civil Code. One more information, your application form for CLAT examinations are opened at the window of NLU consortium, and this window will remain open till the 31st March 2022. So please fill your form timely to avoid delay. So now we come to the main topic, that is the Uniform Civil Code. So provisions regarding Uniform Civil Code have been given under Article 44 of Constitution of India, and Article 44 is the part of Directive Principles of State Policy. These DPSPs or Directive Principles of State Policies have been given under Part 4 of Constitution of India, containing articles 36 to 51. So Article 44 is the part of Directive Principles of State Policy. Next, it is not enforceable, means all the Directive Principles of State Policies are not enforceable through the court of law, and if the government does not comply these directions, then nobody can approach to the court. So first of all, we will understand the meaning of this Uniform Civil Code. So according to Article 44 of the Constitution of India, it provides that state shall endeavor to provide for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Means state भारत के सभी लोगों के लिए, भारत के सभी सिटीजन्स के लिए एक यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड बनाएगा. Since this uniform civil code is the DPSP, so now we will understand the meaning of term uniform civil code. So this uniform civil code means all the personal matters. Now the personal matters means the matter relating to marriage, divorce, maintenance, inheritance, adoption, succession. So all these matters are considered as the personal matter of a person. तो शादी का मैटर हो, डाइवोर्स का मैटर हो, मेंटेनेंस का मैटर हो, इनहेरिटेंस का मैटर हो, एडॉप्शन का मैटर हो, सक्सेशन का मैटर हो, इन सारे विषय पर, इन सारे सब्जेक्ट पर देयर शुड बी वन कॉमन लॉ फॉर ऑल द सिटीजन्स ऑफ इंडिया and there should not be different laws. Dear students, at present we are being governed by the different laws regarding our personal matters. आज के समय में हमारे देश में हमारे पर्सनल मैटर्स से संबंधित डिफरेंट कानून एप्लीकेबल हैं, लेकिन आर्टिकल 44 gives the direction to the state that it should enact a uniform civil code. means सारे देश के जो सिटीजन्स हैं, all the personal matter of all the citizens of India should be governed by one law. That should be, for example, now the marriage amongst Hindu is governed by Hindu Marriage Act. Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Marriage again amongst Christian is governed by Christians Marriage Act. Marriage amongst Sikh is governed by Anand Karaj Act, and marriage amongst Muslim is governed by the various Muslim laws. Similarly, we are having the different laws regarding the adoptions in our country. So Article 44 gives the direction to state that since all the citizens of India are equal, so there should be one uniform civil code for all of them. In our country, only one state, that is Goa, which is following the uniform civil code, and in other states we don't have the uniform civil code. Now we come to some landmark judgment in this regard, and the first landmark judgment in this regard is the Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Shahbano Begum. This is the decision of Honorable Supreme Court and delivered on 23rd April 1985. So what happened in this case? In this case, this Shahbano was given divorce by her husband Muhammad Ahmad Khan, and she claimed the maintenance under section 125 of CRPC. Since she is Muslim, so she was denied maintenance by the Muhammad Ahmad Khan under the Muslim laws, and when she was denied maintenance under this law, then she claimed maintenance under section 125 of CRPC. You may be aware that section 125 of CRPC provides for the maintenance to the wife, children and the parents. Now Muhammad Ahmad Khan challenged this view that she cannot get the maintenance under section 125 because she is Muslim and maintenance is a personal matter of Muslims, so she can only claim the maintenance under the Muslim laws, and she could not claim the maintenance under section 125 of the CRPC, Code of Criminal Procedure. But Honorable Supreme Court in this case did not accept the contention of Muhammad Ahmad Khan, and Honorable Supreme Court held that any person, irrespective of any religion, can claim the maintenance under section 125 of CRPC. Why Honorable Supreme Court said so? Because all of us are citizen of India first, and we are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai subsequently. हम सभी लोग पहले भारत के नागरिक हैं और उसके बाद हम किसी डिफरेंट रिलीजन के पर्सन हैं या रिलीजन को बिलोंग करने वाले पर्सन हैं. So after the decision, there was agitations in the Muslim community regarding this decision of Honorable Supreme Court, because all of you are aware that according to Article 141 of Constitution of India, every decision of Honorable Supreme Court is the laws of the land. So अब क्योंकि ये Honorable Supreme Court का decision था, then it became law. So it was objected by the various Muslim fundamentalists. So after the agitation, the Parliament enacted Muslim Women's Right to Protection on Divorce Act 1986. So now Muslims are governed by this act and they are not governed by 125, section 125 of CRPC. But if any Muslim want to be governed by the section 125 of CRPC, then that Muslim need to give the declaration that he or she will be governed by the section 125 of CRPC. If that Muslim does not give any such declaration, then the provisions of section 125 will not be applicable to that person. Now we come to the next judgment, and the next judgment is Sarla Mudgal versus Union of India. So what happened in this case? In this case, the question before Honorable Supreme Court was that whether a person who is Hindu, क्या कोई पर्सन जो हिंदू है and he is married with a Hindu wife. So according to the Hindu law, if a person is Hindu and he is also married, then that person cannot convert himself into the another religion and cannot marry. So what happened in this case? In this case, एक हिंदू हस्बैंड ने शादी के बाद, उसकी शादी हुई हिंदू मैरिज एक्ट के अनुसार, और शादी के बाद ही adopted or he accepted the Muslim religion and he subsequently married to a Muslim woman. Now his wife brought action under section 494 of IPC. Section 494 of IPC provides for the bigamy. So bigamy is an offense under section 494 of IPC. Bigamy का मतलब होता है having more than one wife at a time. एक समय में एक से ज़्यादा पत्नी रखना बाइगैमी का ऑफेंस होता है. बट मुस्लिम्स आर अलाउड टू हैव द 4 वाइफ्स. मुस्लिम 4 शादी कर सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर पर्सनल लॉज. नाउ दिस हस्बैंड रेज्ड द कंटेंशन दैट since now he has embraced the religion of Muslim or this Muslim religion, so his marriage under the Hindu Marriage Act was automatically dissolved. So Honorable Supreme Court did not accept this contention of the husband and held that no, if a person is Hindu and he married with another Hindu according to the provisions of Hindu Marriage Act, then his or her marriage does not automatically dissolve, and that person cannot embrace any other religion without dissolving his or her first marriage in the Hindu Marriage Act or in the Hindu religion. In this case, Honorable Supreme Court emphasized upon enactment of the Uniform Civil Code, that states should enact the Uniform Civil Code, so that these kind of controversies can be avoided. Now we come to the another decision, and the decision is Daniel Latifi another versus Union of India. This is a decision of Honorable Supreme Court in 2021. So what happened in this case? In this case, the constitutional validity of the Muslim women's right to protection on Divorce Act was challenged, and this was challenged on the ground that this is violative of Article 14 and 15. So basically Article 14 and 15 provides for right to equality, and it was also contended that it is against Article 21 of Constitution of India. But Honorable Supreme Court held that this law is valid and this law is not against Article 14 and 15, including Article 21 of Constitution of India. So basically this law gives some special provisions regarding the maintenance of the Muslim woman after getting the divorce. But Honorable Supreme Court emphasized on this fact that Muslim women who are governed this particular law should be given a handsome amount so that they need not to come to Section 125 of CRPC. तो Section 125 में कोई भी मुस्लिम वोमेन तभी आएगी when she would not get the adequate relief in the Muslim personal laws. So Honorable Supreme Court directed that the amount of maintenance under this act should be handsome amount, so that she need not to claim the amount from any other provisions of the law. Simultaneously, Honorable Supreme Court further emphasized upon the enactment of the Uniform Civil Code in our country to avoid such kind of controversies. Now we come to the next case, and the next case is Johan Vallamatam and others versus Union of India. So in this case, John, the petitioner, was a priest of Kerala, and he challenged the constitutional validity of Section 118 of the Indian Succession Act. So he challenged the constitutional validity of this section on the ground that this section is discriminatory against Christians. Why it is discriminatory? Because it imposes unreasonable restrictions upon the Christians, that they cannot donate their property to their own religion. So this was arbitrary in nature, and if any law is arbitrary, then it is against Article 14 of the Constitution of India. So Honorable Supreme Court in this case accepted the contention of John Vallamatam and others, and struck down the Section 118 and as unconstitutional and against the Constitution of India. And Honorable Supreme Court further emphasized upon the enactment of the Uniform Civil Code. So in our country there is urgent need the law of this Uniform Civil Code, so that all Indians will be governed by the particular law, and there will not be any confusion amongst the people of India, and it will also reduce the litigation. So we hope that our parliament will enact the Uniform Civil Code in near future. So that's all for today, my dear students. I will come again with the next topic. Till then, thank you very much. Goodbye. Please take care of yourself.